welcome back to my channel. It's the Spiritual Enchanters here. Today we're going to go through a 1-hour vinyasa flow through your throat chakra or your Vishuddha chakra. It's represented with the color blue, the element of space, and is located where you would think, your neck and throat area. It's the highway between the rest of the chakras and your head and your mind. It's very closely associated with speaking your truth, communication, self-expression, being able to express what you really feel, what you really think, and also being able to turn your thoughts and your feelings into actual physical manifestations. So like taking a blueprint and making it into a reality. Now, the throat chakra is my personal favorite. It is my most dominant chakra. I have never in my entire life felt like I couldn't speak my truth regardless of the repercussions of that. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble, but also it has given me the ability to not be taken advantage of, walked on, or treated unfairly. I'm really happy that it's my most dominant chakra for sure. I am going to recommend, as I always do, to do the other chakra videos before this one if you haven't already. I will link them down below for you. Other than that, let's get started. We're going to start cross-leg on our mats. Just kind of get comfortable and get a nice long spine, pull the tummy up and in, relax the shoulders down, but try and keep that nice line of energy up out the crown of the head. We're gonna start by taking some nice deep breaths and stretching the neck from side to side. So inhale deeply in through the nose. Feel the breath draw down into your belly. Exhale out the nose, nice and slow. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. Nice length in the left side of the neck. Deep breath in and out of the nose. Breathe in as you come back to center. Exhale out the mouth. Take your left ear to your left shoulder this time. Nice deep breath here. In and out of the nose. Breathing in as you come back to center. One breath out through the mouth. This time looking up towards the ceiling and elongating the front of the neck. Come back to center, breathe out. And this time looking down, tucking your chin into your chest, elongating the back of the neck. Bringing the neck up to center. We're going to take our left hand to our right knee and do a nice easy twist here, looking towards the back corner of your mat. Keeping the spine long, sits bones grounded into the mat, belly pulled up in towards your spine. Nice easy breaths in and out of the nose. Slowly release, coming back to center. Nice deep breath in. And exhale out through the mouth. Other side, taking your right hand to the left knee this time. Easy twist, looking to the back left corner of your mat. Keeping the abdominals and the pelvic floor engaged. Should feel a little bit of strength in the shoulders here. And releasing back to center. We're going to bring our heels underneath our tailbone, so sitting on your knees onto the heels. And we're going to do a child's pose with the knees together. So walking your hands out in front of you to bring your forehead towards the mat. If it doesn't reach the mat, that is perfectly fine. You might want to put a block or a towel or a blanket underneath your head here. Spread the fingers wide in this pose. Plug your palms into the mat and press into the hands. This will help engage your shoulders here. Deep breaths in and out of the nose still. We're going to walk our hands over towards the right side until you get a nice stretch in the left side body. Go to where you feel good in your body. Walk the hands back through center and over to the left till you get that nice juicy stretch in the right side body this time. Keeping the breath steady in and out of the nose. Feel your rib cage expand into that side body as you draw the breath in. And contract as you breathe out. Walk the hands back to center. Taking those fingers nice and wide, pinkies kissing the edge of the mat. Really plug the hands in again, because we're going to press up into downward facing dog. So bring your weight into your hands to start. Tuck your toes under and press up, straighten the legs, press into the hands. Can kind of move your legs around here, bend into the knees. Really find your comfortable position. Your feet should be approximately hip width distance apart with your heels going straight out towards the wall behind you. Pressing into the hands, shoulders away from the ears. Can bend into the knees if you'd like, if that feels good for you. Breathing here. Walk your feet towards your hands till your feet are beneath your hip bones. Release the hands, straighten the legs, and extend all the way up, bringing your hips forward, reaching up towards the sky, looking up between your hands, opening up the front of your neck here, bringing the hands together. And as you release, fold at the hips, come all the way down, bringing your hands towards your feet. You can take some nice little rocks here. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Bring your hands up the front of your shins till you have a nice long spine. Breathe in. Exhale, fold forward. Place your hands on the mat beneath your shoulders, spread the fingers wide, and you can step or jump back into a plank position. In plank, your heels will be straight out behind you, and you're pressing your heels back towards the wall behind you, pulling your belly up and in, and really pressing into your hands, firmly straightening these arms with a micro bend in the elbows. Lower all the way down, nice and slow, elbows tucked in next to the body. Untuck the toes. And keeping your hands where they are, just lifting your chest, gently breathing in, pressing your hips into the mat. It's baby cobra. And exhale, release. 2 more. Breathe in, lift the chest up as you press your hips into the mat. Pull your belly up and in. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Bringing your shoulder blades together along your spine, like you're squeezing a pencil. And exhale, release. Tucking the toes under. Press into the hands, coming up onto the knees. And press the knees up off the ground, coming back into downward facing dog. You might find in downward dog that you like to turn your hands outwards at a slight angle. Might find it feels a little nicer on your shoulders. If not, that is perfectly fine as well. We're going to do 10 shoulder presses here. So we're gonna bend at the elbows, bringing our forehead towards the mat, and extend back up. 1. 2. Exhale as you bend your arms. Inhale as you straighten. 3. 4. 5. Go at your own pace with your own breath. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Good job. We're gonna take our right leg high to the sky. Open up the hip, get a nice stretch here. Try and be mindful of keeping the shoulders square here, so you're not twisting over and dumping that left shoulder down towards the mat. And now we're gonna take our right foot forward. So bend the right knee, tuck it up, and place the foot between your hands. Drop the left knee down, untuck the back toes, so the top of your left foot is grazing the mat. And once you have that position, you can lift your hands up off the floor, scissoring the legs towards one another. Bring your hands up high towards the sky. Really press into the shin of the left leg. Press into the right foot. And then sink forward till you get to this 90-degree angle. If you don't make it there, no big deal. That's just kind of what you're energetically doing. And then once I'm there, I like to think of scissoring the legs together, and you'll really feel an energetic shift there. Now, once you're here, take the hands together in prayer over your head and lean back slightly, looking up towards the ceiling. Take your hands down towards the mat. Left hand on the inside of the right foot. And twist your chest over towards the right. Easy twist. You can either leave your right hand on the left or on the right knee for support, or bring it up towards the ceiling. Energetically scissoring those legs towards one another as you press the feet into the mat. If you'd like, you do not have to, this is an option. You can bend the left foot and bring it towards bend the left leg, bring it towards the right hand and grab hold of it. And once you have it in your hand, press that foot firmly into the hand, trying to push away from you. Releasing if you have that foot in your hand. Bring the hands back on either side of that front foot. Tuck that back foot under, press up, come back into plank. Shift into downward facing dog. You have the option to either stay here in downward facing dog or come onto your forearms in dolphin pose. In either case, we're going to alternate our legs here. So, we're going to take our right foot, lift it towards the sky, keeping that pressure in the forearms or in your hands if you're in a down dog, and release. We're going to inhale, lift the left foot, and exhale, release. That's 2. Go at the pace of your own breath. Inhaling as you lift. Exhaling as you drop that foot to meet the other one. Making sure to keep pressing into those hands and forearms still. If you're in dolphin, come back up to down dog, straighten those arms. You can do that one at a time, whatever feels best in your body. Couple deep cleansing breaths before we move on to the other side. In and out of the nose. And bringing the left leg high to the sky, open up that hip. Focus on keeping the shoulders squared here. Bend that left knee.
Sweep that leg forward and place it between the hands. Drop the right knee down to the mat. Top of the right foot pressing firmly into the mat. Taking your hands up, scissoring those legs towards one another and bringing your hands up overhead. Really focusing on the equal pressure in that front foot, back foot. Shoulders down away from your ears, but hands nice and energetically engaged. Take your hands to prayer, look up towards the ceiling, open your chest nice and wide. Keeping that energy in the bottom half of your body still. Releasing the hands down to the mat, bringing that right hand onto the inside of the left foot or onto a block if you'd like. And bringing that left hand up towards the sky. Really press into the bottom hand. Make sure everything's active here. Fingers spread nice and wide. Breathing in and out of the nose, easy twist. If you would like, you can bend the right knee here and take hold of that right foot with the left hand, like we did on the other side, really pressing the top of the foot into the hand, pressing the foot away from you. Releasing the foot if you have it clasped. Bringing your hands to either side of that foot. Straightening the back leg and bringing the left foot to meet the right. Pressing up into downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat, step or lightly jump your feet to your hands. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Take your hands, the peace fingers, and clasp onto your big toe. If that means having your legs bent, that is perfectly perfect. Just as long as you can clasp onto the big toe. And really lengthen your spine, breathe in, and pull as you bend into the elbows down towards the mat. Just letting go of the neck here. No tension in the neck. If you do straighten the legs, make sure there's just a tiny little bend in them so you're not locking the knees in place. Just straighten till you find your edge, wherever that is for you today, and wherever that is perfect. I find if I bring my elbows out to the side, I can pull down just a little bit more. Release the toes, shake out the legs, tap the backs of the legs here, might feel good. Inhale all the way up, look up. Exhale, fold at the hips, come all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up the thighs, pull your belly into a flat back. Move your shoulder blades towards one another on your back. I'll say half lift for this. Exhale, release, place your hands on the ground. Step or lightly jump back into plank. Lower down, chaturanga, or all the way to the mat, making sure you're tucking your elbows into the body.
Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, we're gonna do a little twist here. So we're gonna take the right hand, firmly ground that baby down into the mat, fingers spread wide. Take your left hand up and move it towards your right ankle. Twist. And go back. Now ground the left hand into the mat. Make sure you have a nice solid foundation. Take the left or right hand up and twist it to the left ankle. And release. Now I'm going to let you do this at your own pace with your own breath. We're going to do this 10 times. So 5 times on each side. If you're wobbling, don't worry. We all fall in life. It's how we deal with it. Just get back up, center yourself, and try again. Perfect. Now we're going to go into dolphin again, or if you'd like to just stay in down dog here, I'll leave that up to you. Dolphin is when we take our forearms down onto the floor, and we're going to do our alternating legs once more. At your own pace, starting with the right side. Inhale, exhale, release. Remembering to press away from you. And coming up one hand at a time, we're both into down dog. Breathing in and out of the nose here. Just a few breaths. And bringing that right leg up high, sweeping it forward between the hands. Drop that back foot down to an angle. So the whole entire foot is touching the mat and the toes are faced at a 45-degree angle forwards. Your heel, your front heel should be in line with the arch of your back foot. Bend that front knee and come up into warrior one. If you need to adjust to make sure that you're in a position that is comfortable for you, take your time to do that now. Take your hands out of prayer position over your head. Lean back. Looking at the ceiling, opening the chest, opening the front of the neck, really pressing into that back foot, pressing into that front leg, and then bending the front knee. Rotating that front leg slightly towards the right side of your mat. Bringing the hands down to your hips. Getting our balance here. We're going to press into the back foot and come up into warrior three. So press up onto the front leg, straighten it,
Bring the back leg to a parallel position. You can turn the knee towards the mat, toes towards the mat. Lifting your chest up so that your head is ideally in line with your back heel. Of course, it doesn't have to be perfect. I often look at pictures of myself in this position and realize that I'm definitely not as straight as I thought I was, so don't worry about that. Just think about how this feels in your body. You're trying to lift your chest up away from the mat and your left leg up away from the mat, energetically feeling that fight against gravity here, pulling your belly up and in. Taking your right hand either onto the floor or the mat below your chest, or to a block if you would like. It's up to you. We're gonna open into half moon. So press into the mat or into a block with your right hand and bring your left hand up in a T position and opening the hip of that back leg. If you can, try and look up at the top hand. If you can't, no big deal. I fall all the time when I try and do that. You might find it's easier for you to look at the floor for now. And release. Woo! Shake out those legs. Bring your hands, palms to the palm of your feet. Using your toes to massage your wrists, bending into these knees, nice deep bend, and releasing the neck. Just kind of swaying back and forth a little bit. Deep breath in the nose. Sigh out the mouth. Take those hands out. We're gonna step or lightly jump back into down dog. Left leg high to the sky this time. Sweeping it forward, bringing it between the hands. Dropping that right foot down to the mat on that 45-degree angle. All corners of the feet plugged in. Align the front heel with the arch of your back foot. Bend to that front knee and come up. Bring your arms up overhead. Press into that back foot. Press in the front foot and then bend the knees. Think about plugging your back leg into the hip socket so it's like pulling forward and pushing away at the same time. Bring your hands to prayer overhead and look up to the ceiling. Make sure that front knee's still bent. A lot going on in this pose. If you fall out, just come right back in. Just try and try and try some more. You can do this. Release the hands. Prepare yourself to press up into that front leg. Pressing off with the back leg. Propelling yourself forward. And bringing your chest down parallel to the floor. Bringing that back leg up parallel to the floor. And do what feels right with your arms here. You might find that putting your hands on a block in this position and just holding your chest up that way till you get that strength in the back leg might feel like really nice and help with your balance. And don't kid yourself, it's still going to be hard. Just using props isn't always the easy way out, you know? Just really helps us build the strength that we need till we get the balance under wraps. Pushing out that back heel. Lifting that chest up, away from the floor. Have a micro bend in the supporting leg. And we're gonna take our left hand either to the mat or to a block, whichever you prefer. Open the chest and the hip up to the right side of the room this time. Really pressing away from the floor. Spreading the top fingers nice and wide. Pressing your heel away from you. Opening the hip. Nice line of energy out from the crown of your head, out the heel. Look wherever feels comfortable for you to balance in this position. It's not an easy one. Release. Woo. Forward fold here, releasing the neck. Nice little sway from side to side. You can pat out the back of your thighs here. Bringing your toes to graze the side of the mat. Bend your knees and come into Malasana, yogic squat. So if you find that it's hard to get your booty all the way down to like hovering from the mat, you might want to place a block underneath just to help so that you can straighten the spine a little easier. Pressing your elbows into the fronts of your knees and placing your hands at prayer. Then bring the prayer towards your chest. This is going to push your knees out further. And just go till you feel that nice stretch that we're looking for. Try and straighten the spine. Breathe in, nice and deep. And sigh out the mouth. Don't be scared to make a little bit of noise here. Place your hands on the mat in front of you. We're going to straighten our legs up, walk your hands in, coming up to standing. We're going to do a little back bend here, bringing your hands to the back. Open up your chest, look up. Nice little counter twist for your low back. Come back up to standing. We're gonna face the side of our mat now, bringing your feet out nice and wide, about a little bit more than hip width distance apart. So it's like a length of one of your legs between here. Bring your toes in further so you're kind of pigeon-toed here. And then lengthen the spine, suck your belly up and in to kiss your spine, and then fold at the hips. Till you come to a flat back. And really press your feet into the mat and away. You're gonna feel your legs engaged doing that. Then you can take your hand either down to the ground or to some blocks if you'd like, whichever works for you. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, release. Release everything in the top body, keeping those legs energetically pressing into the mat. Inhale, come to that flat spine. And exhale, release. Shake the head no. Nod the head yes. We're gonna walk our hands over to the right, bend the right knee. Take the left toes up off the mat. And bring our hands to prayer here. Try and lengthen the spine if you can. If not, you can always take your hands onto the mat to support you. Whatever feels good for you today. We're gonna look over to the left. Taking our hands back towards the mat. We're gonna shift our weight over to the other foot. So walk across to the left. Now bending the left knee, straightening the right leg. Bring the right toes up.
bringing our hands either to the mat or to prayer at our chest. A few breaths here, looking to the left this time. Hands back to the mat, walking our way back to center. Bring those feet pigeon-toed once again. Release the top body. Nice loose neck here. And slowly come up, really slow. Kind of heel toe your feet back to center. Coming back to the top of our mat. We're gonna take dancer pose. So you may or may not wanna grab a yoga strap. You can use a scarf, a dog leash, any sort of like rope that you might have. And we're going to plant our left foot firmly into the mat. Really root it down. Spread your toes nice and wide. Just gently lift the right foot till you get your balance. Then bend the right leg and take hold of the right foot from the inside of the foot. So not the outside where your ankle bone's sticking out, but from the inside where that deep arch is. And either stay here, working on your balance, or press that foot into the hand and the wall, towards the wall behind you. Really lengthening your chest forward. So we're not have our chest down towards the mat. We want to keep it upright as much as we can. And release. Shake the hips out. Woo! If there's any tension in the spine, just shake, 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 shake your booty. Ow! Sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. Okay, so other side. Firmly ground that right foot into the mat this time. Spread the toes nice and wide. And just start by lifting your left leg just like an inch off the floor. Find your balance. Then we can start to bend the left leg and bring your hand towards the inside of the left foot. Once you have that grip, you can stay here, work on your balance, or press into that hand, keeping the torso nice and erect. It's not about how flexible you can get, it's really about strength here. Pressing that hand or that foot into the hand behind you. And release. Fold over, hands towards the mat. Inhale, reach nice and high to the sky, look up. Exhale, fold at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, come to a flat back. Exhale, step or jump into plank. Lower down, chaturanga, or all the way to the mat. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, stay here or drop the right leg over to the left and come into wild thing. Pressing your chest up towards the ceiling, letting your neck hang loose. Come back to meet in three-legged dog if you're not already there.
Release that leg to meet the other. And inhale, left leg high to the sky. Either stay here or drop that right leg over, or left leg over, sorry, and come into wild thing. Come back to downward facing dog. A few deep breaths in and out of the nose. And look forward between your hands and step or jump through to seated. Coming into boat pose. So with your sits bones planted into the mat, bend at the knees, you can bring your feet up, hovering off the mat. You can use your hands to support you here or bring them up next to your knees. If you're super badass, you can straighten your legs, but personally, I find it very hard to keep the length in my spine when I do that. We're gonna do some toe taps here. So we're gonna tap down and switch, and switch, and switch. Go at your own pace here. Now, you can either keep your feet down on the mat with your knees bent, pull the belly up and in, spine nice and long, take your hands to prayer and tap one side, touch, go to the other side, touch. This will be a lot of work. If you want to make it a little bit harder for yourself, you can slightly lift the feet up and continue one side touch, the other side touch, keeping your back nice and long. We don't want to slump in the spine. And you can straighten your legs all the way up while you do this if you would like. Going at your own pace here. And release. We're going to come up onto our feet, straighten our legs into a forward fold, plant your hands down, step or lightly jump back into downward facing dog. Come into plank and lower all the way down to the mat. We're gonna take 3 locust poses. So you're gonna press our hips and our belly into the mat as we lift our chest and our feet up at the same time. Try and keep the neck in a neutral position. Really press the feet away from you. You can point the toes if it helps. And release. Take one ear to the mat. Just breathe nice and deep in and out of the nose. You can breathe out the mouth to release some heat here, if you would like. Coming up again, press into those hips, bring your shoulders together,
along your spine, pointing the toes. You can clasp your hands behind your back if you'd like. And release, bring your ear to the mat. And one more time, come up. Chest up, pelvis pressing into the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together along your back. Press your toes towards the wall away from you. Breathe deeply, breathe loudly, don't be scared. And release. Sigh out the mouth. Take your hands beneath your shoulders and press your chest up, bending at the knees and bringing your tailbone towards your heels. You can spread the knees out and come into a wide-legged child's pose. Bring the forehead to the mat. Press your hands into the mat and walk them towards you. We're gonna come up into all fours. Tuck the toes under, taking your hands nice and wide, and press into down dog. You're gonna lift the right leg high to the sky. Sweep it between the hands, but bring your foot to the left hand, dropping the knee towards the right, and bringing your left thigh down onto the mat. You might find bringing your heel in towards your groin here. I'm just gonna move forward to get in the center of this frame here. Might feel better on your knee and on your hips. The idea is to try and have kind of a neutral pelvis here. So one hip isn't up way higher than the other. If that's happening, you might find it nice to place a pillow or block or a towel underneath the right butt cheek to kind of level you out. I'll leave that to you to decide. Once you're there, walk your hands alongside you, open up the chest. Look up and walk your hands out, coming either down onto the elbows or all the way down, whatever feels good for you today. Press into the hands and walk them up towards your hips. And either stay here or bend the back leg. Bring your right hand behind to clasp the outside of the foot. Now, bring the left hand behind. Clasp the inside of the foot like we did with dancer. Bring it into your armpit. And then take your right hand behind your head to meet the other for mermaid. Once you're here, you can clasp onto that foot for king pigeon. That is optional. Please do not do this if you're not ready yet. Release. One hand at a time. Bring your hands, firmly plant them on the mat in front of you. Press into that back leg, coming up off that front thigh and coming back to down dog. Press into those hands. You can pedal up the feet. Lifting the left leg high to the sky this time. Bring the left foot to the right hand. Bend at that knee, bring that knee to the left hand, slide that right foot back out behind you. And like I said, you can walk that front heel in towards the groin or use a block to try and level out the hips here. Walking your hands towards the hips, open the chest. Look up to the sky. And then slowly fold forward either onto the elbows, forearms, or onto the chest, whatever feels right for you today. Press into the hands and walk them back towards you. Either stay here or you can bend the right leg. Using the right hand coming back behind you, reaching, grabbing the inside of the right foot. Pulling that foot into your armpit. Bringing the left hand behind your head to meet the right for mermaid. And once you're here, if you have the intention, grab your toe and come into king pigeon. Of course, just staying in regular pigeon is perfectly fine. And release one arm at a time. Release that leg down. Swing that right leg around to the front. We're gonna come into a forward fold. So lengthen those legs out in front of you. Flex the feet, bring the backs of the knees towards the mat. Lengthen your spine. And fold towards the toes. If you do not reach the toes, there's nothing wrong with that. We don't want to bring a hunch in the spine. We want to keep our knees down, straight, back lengthened, and come towards the toes. Wherever you come, if it's on your thighs or your shins, that is perfect. We're going to prioritize length over flexibility here. Pulling the belly up and in. And once you have that juicy spot, then you can fold and release. Breathe in, extend up, find length. And exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen one more time. Exhale, release. Come back up to a seated position. Scoot your hips forward, bend the knees, lay down onto your back. You can either take a block under your tailbone here and lengthen your feet up towards the sky if that feels good for you, or just keep your hips on the mat. Lengthen your feet up towards the sky, and if you would like, you can, once you have your shoulders pressed firmly onto the mat, lift your hips up, take your hands to just the low back, and then press up onto the shoulders, pressing into your arms, flexing the feet, engage the legs, keeping your neck straight. Do not look side to side. We want to protect our neck here. And if you're in shoulder stand, you can take your feet overhead to the mat into plow pose. Roll out all the way back to lying. If you have your hips on a block, remove the block and bring your legs down to a lying position on the mat. Bend at the knees. Move your hips slightly to the right and let the knees drop over to the left. Take your arms out into a T and then bend at the elbows. If you desire, you can place a prop underneath your knees here if they're hovering. We want our right shoulder to be on the mat, so if that means placing a prop here, please do that. It'll be a little less intense on the twist for you. If you find this twist just isn't deep enough, you can cross the legs, and that'll bring you a little further into the twist. Listen to your body. What is it telling you today?
unravel the legs if they're crossed. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Bring your hips back to center. And then shift them slightly to the left this time, allowing your knees to drop to the right. I'm just going to use this as an example. If your left shoulder's lifting off the mat, just place a prop like I have here beneath the knees, and that should really help you. Bending at the elbows, arms up wide in a T position, kind of like goalposts. And crossing the legs if you'd like to go a little deeper into this twist. If it's too intense on your low back, please back out of it. If your legs are crossed, please unravel them. Bring your knees back to center. Bring your hips back to center. And let your legs fall out nice and wide. Extend them to either side of the mat and let your feet drop open. You can bring your hands down on the outside of your hips, allowing the palms to face the ceiling. And just let everything go here. Final rest position, Shavasana, my personal favorite. I like to go, and I find it hard to sit still. So this little time of absolute surrender and solace at the end of a practice, or even at the end of a long day, is so magical and so healing and so necessary, and so many of us skip it. We don't place enough importance in the rest phases of our lives. And I hope today this is a little treat for you at the end of a hard practice. Slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back into your body. Stretch the arms up overhead. Point your toes away from you. Sigh out. Release everything. Roll on to the right or left side, whatever feels best for you. And press yourself up to a seated position. Thank you for joining me on my mat today, yogis. I honor you for making it this far. Please like this video if you liked it. Please share with anyone you think would gain value from this video. And if you'd like to be updated with future content, there's 2 more chakras to go. Please
subscribe down below if you haven't already. Click the bell notification button, and I'll see you in my next video. Namaste. Bye. Ooh, I forgot to add, if you really like this beautiful outfit I'm wearing today, I got it from Astoria Activewear. I will link the website down below, and I have a discount code for you guys. It's Enchantress15, which I will include in the description box below as well. So thank you. Have a good day. Bye.